This is ILOVETSUBASEOTORI and
Black White Girl 1.
And we'll be singing Tohru Honda Had a Farm.
Little Deserved by Old MacDonald. Reserved by I Love to Say, sing by Black White Girl and I Love to Say.
Tori. Okay, we're sorry about the noise in the background, but we kind of lost the remote to the giggling girls in the back. So please deal with
them.
Yeah. And
Ready?
let's begin. Tohru Honda have a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm she had a Yuki rat, E-I-E-I-O. With a squeak squeak here and a squeak squeak there, everywhere squeak squeak. Tohru Honda have a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On that farm she had a hard cow, E-I-E-I-O. With a moo-moo here and moo-moo there, everywhere moo-moo. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On that farm she had a piece of tiger. E-I-E-I-O. With a bite here and a bite there, everywhere a bite. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On that farm she had a Moji rabbit. Tongue twist, E-I-O. With a hop here and a hop there, everywhere hop. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. It's a hot pocket. But we're hop pocket. But you don't make like hot pockets.
Continue. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On that farm she had a Tory dragon. Roar! E-I-E-I-O. With a roar here and the roar there, everywhere roar. Tohru Honda had a farm.
Wait, but isn't it a seahorse?
Yeah, that's true, but
E-I-E-I-O.
How possible he'd be a seahorse when he's a dragon? Is a seahorse connected to the dragon or something?
Chinese. You don't understand them.
You never know what happened to them. They're crazy. My bad for the racists.
No offense, Chinese. Peace.
Continue.
Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On that farm she had a yummy sink, E-I-E-I-O. With a hiss here and hiss there, everywhere hiss. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On that farm she had a Suzu cat. Ren horse. Let's try that one again. On that farm she had a Suzu Ren horse, E-I-E-I-O. With a neigh here and neigh there, everywhere neigh. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On that farm she had a Hiroshi, E-I-E-I-O. With a bad here and a bad there, everywhere bad. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On that farm she had a Ritsu monkey, E-I-E-I-O. With a spaz here and a spaz there, everywhere spaz. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. I'm sorry! Nice! High five! Continue. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On that farm she had a Korean rooster, E-I-E-I-O. With a cockadoo here and a cockadoo here, everywhere a cockadoo. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. I'm sorry, I am tired of doing cock-a-doodle-doo, damn it.
Guys, sounds like a rap song.
Sugar.
Sorry, my mistake. Continue, my mistake. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On that farm she had a sugar dog, E-I-E-I-O. With a woof here and a woof there, everywhere woof. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. I said purr here. I was thinking about that.
With a purr here and a purr there, everywhere purr.
That tongue twist, my bad. Continue. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm she had carnivore, E-I-E-I-O.
I said bull. Did you catch that?
Keep going with oink oink here and oink oink there. Everywhere oink oink. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. I'm about to say with kill here.
Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Lastly, on that farm she had a cute cat. Everyone hated him but Tohru. I hope stars to grow on you, E-I-E-I-O. So with a meow meow here and a meow meow there.
Everywhere meow meow meow. Tohru Honda had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
We need to post this as bloopers.
But we're sorry we can't figure out how to do Akito because we don't know what animal to do him.
Yeah, I made a mistake making the slideshow and put roar roar instead.
On Akito.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about that?
I don't know, it was copying and pasting.
Really?
Yeah, I'm lazy. You haven't figured this out in like 2 years you've known me.
That's a long time. What the?
Yeah, so this is
6
gonna be our
minutes.
blooper reel, alright?
Yep.
Sam will post this on YouTube as fast as possible. Woohoo! Enjoy, comment, and rate. And like.
And subscribe us anytime you like. We might think about doing Inuyasha had a farm.
Maybe. With a monk here and a monk there, with a grope here and a grope there. Everywhere grope.
And sit boys here and sit boy there, everywhere sit boy.
Everywhere slap.
But we might be getting
Spider.
we might be getting trouble with Shisharu. Cause we're gonna say fluff.
Fluff.
So bye.
Bye.